President Carl and fellow members, thank you so much. I'm very excited about this program, and I've asked John Willis, our renowned photographer, author, and friend of the club, to introduce and present our speaker. Take it away, John Willis.
Thanks there, Marty. I don't know about all that renowned stuff, but anyway, it's a pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce Yvonne DeCory, commonly known as Tiny. I have known Tiny and the BEAR Project for over a decade. BEAR stands for Better Education and Reading, and it's a suicide prevention group on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, home of the Oglala Lakota Sioux tribe. Tiny, Eileen, Janice, and Laticia DeCory, and others who work with them are first responders on call 24/7 to help youth and families in need. And they really mean it when they say 24/7. They are known throughout the 3,500 square mile reservation with over 20,000 inhabitants as the people to call when anyone, especially youth, are talking about life not being worth living. They will do everything they can to help. With a crew of volunteers, the BEAR Project serves the community in many ways. They educate, they help, they heal, they get things done, and BEAR brings together the four colors of mankind, strengthening hope with dignity and making a real difference. I can speak to the power of their commitment and the success in addressing dire need, spreading positive energy, and building self-confidence. The Insight Photography Project's Exposures Cross-Cultural Youth Arts Program and Marlboro College's community have collaborated with Tiny and her staff. They are a force of positive energy that I thoroughly respect. And I wanted to thank you, Rotarians, for hosting this presentation and for the work that you've done to help Pine Ridge Reservation and the Lakota people. And thank Tiny for agreeing to take time away from the important work that she does to be here today. And if I just heard somebody imply that bragging rights gets people competitive and raising funds, and I'll just let you know, my wife and I are bragging that we are going to give our full COVID relief check to the BEAR Project because they need it more than we do, and they will do amazing things with it. So there's my dare to you. See if any of you will help match that by spreading the word. It's a good thing to do. If people don't need it, they can contribute it to a really good cause. But thank you so much. And I'm really, really pleased to see Tiny and listen to her present. Thanks, Tiny.
Good morning. He honey wash day, or ampetu wash day, because it's after lunch over there. We're 2 hours difference. I'm really happy to be here, and Laticia DeCory is joining me. She's one of the members of our board, a very active member of the board, and also a trainer on our emergency response team. You know, we are excited to be here, and most of you watched our film, The Bears on Pine Ridge, a documentary that was done by Noel Bass, and it was up for some festivals, and it's about the work that we do in suicide prevention. However, there is so much more under the umbrella of BEAR that we want to share with you. We started the BEAR program back in 2000, right, Laticia? Yep. And it took us 2 years to complete surveys as to why our high school kids were dropping out of school, because our dropout rate is still at probably 70%, but we wanted to know why. So it took us a while to go out and find all the kids that were not in school or they had dropped out of school. And we went from house to house. We went from community to community on the Pine Ridge Reservation, which there's 54 communities. And we interviewed these kids. We found the majority of them, and they told why. Donnie, you want to add on to that?
One of the things that was really interesting for us, and one of the things that we wanted to do was, as we were growing up, we used to talk about how we used to climb trees and catch fireflies and fly kites and do the things that kids do. In this survey, we found out these kids never do anything like that because their focus was just on survival skills, that they didn't know how to be kids anymore. And so one of the things that we really wanted to focus on in our program was trying to help them with the basic necessities, take away some of that worry and stress that goes on in their lives, and provide an opportunity for them to just be kids. Climb trees, let's catch fireflies, let's go fishing, you know, wet our tadpoles, and doing a lot of fun things, even playing things like these big teenage kids playing Red Rover or freeze tag, and just to see the smiles and the things on their faces was something that was very interesting and exciting for us. And that was a real eye opener for us on a lot of these surveys that we did with our kids.
So from there, we put it into play, where we partnership with the local college in the early childhood department, and we started getting our kids involved and teaching them about life and life skills, which we still do. We do a lot of life skills. So we found our kids, I'll go back and we found that many of them were incarcerated in juvenile facilities. Some of them were already parents. They were babies who had babies. Some of them were just at home with nothing to do, very depressed. And we found some of them in the cemetery because they had committed suicide. So that really put us in high gear. So we started the BEAR program, and we came out strong in 2002. Well, first year we enrolled 600 families, and each year we continue to enroll more families. And we believe our strength is in strengthening the families. So under the BEAR program, we have a reading program, we have education, we have tutoring services, we have the snack program, we have a food box program, we have computer programs, we have a lot of things that will enhance the child's education and try to get them continuously to be involved and to be excited about their education, to be excited about their life. So there's just so much under the BEAR program. You know, the video that you saw with the bears, you saw a lot of, it was sad to see that many, but it was the truth. And the problem with a lot of people, when we talk about suicide, they don't want to hear about it. They just want to deny it. And it hurts too much to talk about it, because imagine your child committing suicide. You're never going to recover. So can you imagine? We have 4 a week sometimes, teenagers, all by hanging. So we strengthen that family, and we're not, we prosper every day. There's so much good here on the reservation. There's so many good programs, and the BEAR program is one. When our kids, without COVID, we were able to come into the BEAR program every day after school, and the kids would be able to sit down and have fun and play foosball and get on their homework. And now, we have to go into the homes. We have to meet the families. We have to prepare packets for the families, take food. But we've really been prosperous in our community and helping our community develop, because listening to you all talk, it just made my heart even bigger, because I said, they do the same things that we do. You're worrying about the youth, their education, their fundraising, and we're constantly doing that, because we're very, we are pulverized, but we have so much in our culture. We have, we have so much to offer the people. Laticia?
Yeah, and the one thing that you talked about bragging rights and everything, and thanks to John and helping to write a lot of grants for us and to help do these little grants, we've been able to expand our program. We actually are starting a job readiness program where we have youth that are doing 4 hours a day, learning job skills, learning to do resumes, learning how to interview and interact with people. We were able to increase our community service projects and teach them how to sustain. And we have our older youth that are we bought chainsaws and teaching them the safety and how to cut their own wood for their homes. As of this week, we started and opened up, and we have kids that are going to music lessons, guitar lessons, and we found a place 25 miles away that offers karate. So we're taking a group of kids to karate. But when you talk about bragging rights, one of the things that I really want to really bring up to it is the fact that we all have full-time jobs in the BEAR program, but not with BEAR. There is no paid adult in our program. Everything is volunteer. So if we're getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning, working with kids, it's volunteer. So it's all about peer passion, peer love,
sometimes exhausting, where you just want to look in the mirror and start crying yourself, saying, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm so tired. And you all probably have the same thing. And so you understand that those tireless efforts. So when people like you and people like John come along and are able to help us expand services, we do get excited. And even though we do get tired, it's the outcomes that matter. Being able to see what people do. Like, for example, we've had seniors that were told they weren't going to graduate. You need a half a credit, or, you know, you need a full credit. So we pitch in financially. We help them find a credit recovery program. We get them their credit, and being able to go to their graduation and see them walk across the stage. It's those types of things that are very, very rewarding. And one of the things too is that a lot of our kids, we've noticed, get into a shell. They're embarrassed because there's not much for them to do. They're competing with adults to get jobs here and the things that that we do. But one of the things that we've noticed is that we always have people coming in doing community service for us, cleaning up, fixing our parks, you know, painting homes. Well, we wanted our youth to be able to be accepted into the community and to feel like an asset and worth. So that's why we really focus on community service. And it was funny because now we got kids that are saying, this is the last big snowstorm we had. What are we going to do? What type of flowers are we going to plant downtown? Where are we going to paint? And I'm saying, wait, now, hold up. We usually have one more snowstorm coming. And then one of them came and said, hey, I was looking on this thing on YouTube and we can do an underground garden, you know, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, okay, well, we could do that. And then, so what we started doing is putting that responsibility back on them, saying, okay, you do the research. You tell me what we have to do. You tell us what the supplies are that we have to do, and we'll bust our butt trying to get that, but you get a crew to do the work. So those are the exciting things for us.
Thank you, Laticia. And I want to reiterate a little bit more on our job readiness. We started that back in June, I believe, maybe, when I was talking with John about it, because we asked our families, they had to quarantine. We had to stay at home, a shelter, you had to stay at home, and we're still under that. And we were under a curfew. So when you have 30 people living in one house with maybe 3 bedrooms, now 30, and one has to quarantine, and then all of them are going to have to quarantine, and they're in their home for at the time was for 15 days. And so our kids were getting really antsy, and they were breaking their quarantine, and we were out there looking for them. And we've had a few said, I would rather be on the other side than to live like this. But imagine on a beautiful day, they could be outside in their yard. As soon as nightfall, they had to be inside, and there's 30 people in the house. And you know, sharing beds, sleeping on the floor and whatnot. But see, the Bear program, we do our intake and we're able to do that. So when I talked with John, I said, we're starting a job readiness program. I can only pay them $7.35 an hour and 4 hours a day, but we're going to teach them all this wonderful stuff. So we are now in our second, maybe third phase of youth that had come through the program and they did their work. And now they're coming back and they're doing 2 hours a day, but they're out there doing a lot of community work. And remember, I mean, think about our kids here. We help them get their state IDs so they can travel. We help them get their tribal IDs. We have to help them get their birth certificates. It's just basically starting all over, even with the parents. So we also offer parenting classes because the parents now have older children, they have grandchildren, but yet they're frustrating and they think that they're failures as parents, when in essence, you know, they have so much to offer. So we bring them all together. We have grief sessions, you know, with families who have lost someone to suicide or alcohol and drugs or in a car accident. We bring them together and we're able to offer them 6 weeks of grief counseling so they can kind of get back on track. Because we do have we're pulverized, we do have that, but our culture and our love and to see the kids prosper, because that's the generation that's hopefully gonna take care of me. They better remember me, because we have so many good young men and women coming up. But without the guidance of, I would say without our Bear program, they're not, you know, being able to reach out. We're, you know, we touch so many people's lives. And under the BEAR program, we have our own drug testing program. We have a books and ballers where the kids have to read books and do their homework. And then they get to play basketball in a tournament. We have our tutoring program. We have our gardening program. We have our, every week we give out books inside a snack bag for the young people. And we give out adult books in the food boxes. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them. Did I do it enough, John?
I don't know what they thought about time, but what I would say, throw out Tiny that it's great what you both had to say. I'm sure that some of us would like to know what you think are the best ways we could help.
Well, you know, we're always running out of food for our young people. And last year we had a few gardens. Some of our kids put together gardens. This year they're looking forward to making our gardens a little bit bigger and more. Hopefully each kid will have a little garden in the back of their yard. So, you know, we're looking for garden seeds. The kids plant in their community that they live in. So they always putting out flower pots and whatnot, just trying to beautify their little community or around their houses. We always go through a lot of socks. Our kids, you know, while you have kids that lose their socks in the dryer, you have sock monsters. Well, we have kids that lose both of their socks. So we're always giving out socks. We're always giving out hood sweaters to keep them warm, because in the summer, in the spring, you know, we get the warm weather, but at night it drops below. So they have to wear a sweater around. So we're always giving out hood sweaters. We give out a lot of food. We give out blankets all the time. We had this snowstorm that was a doozy. They're still digging out right now. And so it was a good time. We were able to give a lot of blankets out and a lot of coats, a lot of stocking caps. But through our job readiness program, if we could get more, I figured it out. For, you know, you pay somebody $7.35 an hour and they work 4 hours a day. They work 20 hours a week. And that's not enough, but it's enough for them to survive. It's enough for them to have a check and to have some money, and they can pay for themselves. You know, we have a lot of 13-year-olds that are on their own. And a lot of our young people have self-emancipated because of their life conditions, and there's just so many to take care of that they just went out on their own and they're trying to take care of themselves. So with our job readiness program, we're able to put them to work, visiting the elders as well. They go to the nursing home and they check in with them, and we just have a lot for the kids to do. So those are some of the ways you guys can help. And of course, the power in prayer. Yes.
Thank you.
You're muted,
Marty. Tiny, I can't thank you enough for all that you're doing. I've been on your website, www.bearproject.net. I've posted it in the chat, and I'll put it in the bulletin as well. But on your website, you have a donate page, which makes it easy if money is something that you need and
Yes.
want. You also have a list of, you know, as you mentioned, these seeds, socks. Which would benefit you more, money, or should we send you seeds and socks and sweatshirts and things like that? What would help you?
I think if we could receive money, we could put more of our young people to work, because they're out of the classroom and they've been out of the classroom for over a year. And some of them are really struggling and they need that outlet. And we would be able to put more kids to work.
Peter Abel.
Sounds really great. I'm sure you're aware that Deb Hagelin has just been installed in President Biden's cabinet as Bureau of the Department of the Interior.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you can approach them, you know, the Interior and Indian Affairs, and get help from them.
We will try. We will do. And we're proud of Deborah from New Mexico. In fact, she a couple of years ago, when she first got in, my grandson, his name is Teton Saltez, and he's looking at the NFL draft in a month. He is on the board for Save the Children out of Washington, D.C. So he did an internship with Deb in Washington, D.C. And so she's really looking to be able to get the word out and to see what she can do.
That would be great.
Thank you, Peter.
Tristan, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hi, Tony. This is Tristram Johnson. What are the job or the employment opportunities on the reservation for those kids coming out of your job readiness skill? Where do they look forward to getting hired?
That's a good question, because we are our unemployment is what, 80? Is it 89%, John?
I think the most common average is 84%, but that's when the economy is okay.
Yeah. So what they will do is hopefully get jobs in the tribal program. If not, we keep them in the bear program because we have so much to do. We raised money to buy 2 houses, and we're just waiting to raise a few more dollars to be able to move those houses and get the water hooked up and get the basement fixed. And the bear program, they would be able to work at the bear program. You know, they could yeah, we got day labor, we have day labor, and they're able to do intake of families and get what the family needs, interview families for us. We also have a Pizza Hut. We also have a Taco John's and a Subway, a couple of gas stations, one grocery store, and some restaurants, out of bounds restaurant. So we talk with them because some of our job readiness goes not to the franchises, because they didn't get really hurt here on the reservation with the COVID-19 pandemic, but like our bakery, and we have different small businesses that they're able to do their training and probably get some work there. And then of course we have Indian Health Services. Their job readiness would also enhance their resume, so they might be able to get a clerk or intake position there. We're always fighting for positions for our young people. Yeah, we have a partnership with several churches, and after they finish with us a couple of weeks, then they go to a job site and they work on houses. They put windows in and they winterize. They fix the floor. They learn plumbing. They learn minor electrical. So.
Oh, and some of the stuff that we really incorporate into our job readiness training is entrepreneur skills, where a lot of them like to cut wood, they do yard work, they paint, they just do a lot of those different things. They have artwork, beadwork, things like that. So we help them set it up where they can sell those services, put those services out, and be paid for those services as well.
And then the Makerspace program, which is 2 miles from the reservation, that's kind of been a lift for our entrepreneurs with their beadwork. And when that opens at 100%, you know, we expect to see some of our young people up there, because we have a young man who makes flutes, and he plays beautiful music with his flute, you know, and he's anxious to be able to share that and to pass it along. So I mean, we're in an area where unemployment is 84%. There are no jobs. Alcohol is running high. Suicide is the highest in the nation for us. I mean, it just goes on, and you say, oh my God, who would want to live there? Why would they want to put themselves through all that? Because we love our people. We love our community. We love the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. And there is so much opportunity for these young people. And yeah, they have to leave to get their education. And some of them don't come back, but they're still helping from the outside.
I have one more follow-up question.
Yes.
The follow-up question is this: if optimism and hope are the tools to help kids avoid a path towards suicide, do you feel that your program is really successful in building optimism and hope?
Yes. Yes. If you look at the kids that have gone through the BEAR program, look at our vice president of the Oglala Sioux tribe, Dr. Musso. Our dentist, we have a doctor charging crew that's been in the BEAR program. I mean, and I can go on and on and on. I'm a magnet to kids, and I love the work that I do, and I want everybody to live. And I show them, I model it, and to see the response, the kids that are coming back from college. I want to say I can take darkness and find a little bit of light in it. I can do that. I can take a little bit of light, and I'm going to start opening that light up where these kids can see the light and to see that there is a better tomorrow. But it takes a lot of people to come together to make that better tomorrow. So the BEAR program has graduated doctors. We have kids that have gone to Duke University that have their master's degree. We have elementary teachers, high school teachers, high school coaches.
Very nice. There's been a great program. We can feel the energy, Donnie,
Yes.
through the Zoom. Thank you. Rob, did you have maybe a final question?
Oh, I just wanted to make a brag for Tiny, for the BEAR project, and for John Willis. Tiny, you welcomed me and John Willis and a group of about 15 teenagers into your basement and underneath the post office there a couple of summers ago. And
Yes.
It's so good to be reminded of your, I'm going to call it indomitable spirit, which I feel like nothing can stand in the way of you helping these kids. And I'm just so inspired by you. So thank you for doing your work. It's a $20 brag.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Mhm.